everybody, welcome back. My name is Izzy if you are new to my channel. Hi! Since it is still summer, I figured I'm so generous and I'm so kind that I will give you a summer book recs. You're so welcome. You don't have to ask me. Guys, don't have to ask me. I already know you want this. I did want to do some summer book recs, sit down with you guys, kind of give you some summary books. So let's get started. First book I have is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I read this last summer and it was really fun. This is about our main character who is kind of having a rough time. I think she's driving home one day and she gets a flat tire and this guy comes and helps her with it and they're like, wait, this person's really cute. And so they have a one-night stand together. She's from like a really big city and he's from a small town. She kind of grows up in this very rich family and is kind of expected to be this really famous doctor, and he is literally like the mayor of this small town. So they have quite different lives, but somehow they do get entangled together. I really liked this one. This was good. It is an age gap romance. She is older, so if you like an age gap, here you go. Small town vibes. This guy communicates so well. He's so obsessed with her. So if you love, like, one of them is absolutely obsessed with the other, especially if like the guy is obsessed with her, you're gonna love this. I just see this big ass hair. So sorry. I really like Abby Jimenez's writing in this one. It's really good because their lives are so different and them trying to figure out how to work together to make it work is really interesting. And I feel like it's very realistic. So the problems were very realistic. The next book I'm gonna recommend is Here We Go Again by Allison Cochran. I read this very recently. If you saw in my summer reading romance vlog, something like that. This is a new release from Allison Cochran. It is about our two main characters who were childhood best friends, but now are kind of enemies. Their favorite teacher is unfortunately dying from cancer and he really wants to go on a road trip, and so they all get in their little car and have a road trip to Maine. It's really good. This is one of my new favorite romances right now. It's so good if you want a sapphic romance, a road trip vibes. This is so summer. It's so good. The whole summer they're basically going on this road trip. They were childhood friends to enemies to lovers. It's so good. Highly recommend. If you hear anything I say today, read this today. Hey, pick this up. I'm gonna give you kind of a stereotypical one that I think you could probably see from a mile away, and that is Elsie Silver's books. This series is the Chestnut Springs series. If you've not heard about it, if you live under a rock, this is the Chestnut Springs series. It follows 5 brothers. Each one gets, well, that's not true. One of them is technically not a brother, but it's basically interconnected, standalone, kind of like cowboy, small town romance vibe books. They are so good. I will yell this until I'm blue in the face. If you've not read this series, you need to read it during the summer. It gives such summer energy. It's so fun. My personal favorites are Heartless and Reckless. If you don't want to read the whole series, I really love this whole series, but these two are my absolute favorites, so I'll just go over them real quick. I'll brag on them. Heartless is a single dad romance and the nanny joins. So this one is about the oldest son out of the Eaton family. His name is Cade. He is a grumpy man, but he's also a single dad and he is running this farm. He's a business mogul. And then our other main character is Willa. Is very free-spirited, very kind of go with the flow. She doesn't really know what she wants to do right now. She takes up the job of nannying for Cade's kid. And she has to live in the freaking house. And so she lives in the freaking house. And it's freaking so good. So this one is about Theo. He is a bull rider, and it's also about another main character named Winter, which you will find out about Winter. She's a reoccurring character in this series, but she gets her own book in this one. But this one, surprisingly, I don't love this trope. It's not like, I don't see it very often, I think, in books. I was so pleasantly surprised. It was done so absolutely well. That's just a testament to Elsie Silver's writing. She did this trope so incredibly well. The whole Chestnut Springs series, it's really good. You have to read it. Oh, I'll also mention a quick little love to her newest series, which is the Rose Hill series. This is the first one, Wild Love. I like it, but I didn't love it, but I am gonna just like put it out here. It is a good book. It is about Ford and Rosie. Ford is a billionaire who is kind of doing this music producing thing. Rosie is his best friend's sister, and she moves back to Rose Hill from the big city to kind of get her life together. I liked this one. I don't love this as much as the Chestnut Springs series so far, but it's still good. If you want to read more of her books, she does have a new series out. I have to talk about this one because I read it during summer. I actually reread this very recently. I have to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it too long. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. You have to read this. To me, it gives summer energy. I think it's because I read this on the beach for the first time, so to me, it gives summer energy. You just have to read it. If you've not heard me shut up from this, and I think I recommended it on every book video I've ever done, let's ignore that, but like, you have to read it. If you don't know, it's basically a retelling of the Iliad. Achilles' biggest confidant is Patroclus, and it's in his point of view throughout this whole book of the Trojan War. This tears me up. It's so amazing. You have to read it. If you don't, I will scream. I don't know if I've recommended this or not, but Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blouse, our main character, Mary Jane, she is babysitting for this family for the summer. And that's kind of all you really need to know. It really is not like a whole lot of plot going on, but the characters are so good. It's just a big like self-discovery, self-growth, finding yourself type of thing, coming of age type of story as well. These characters felt so real, and it's just amazing. I just realized I just recommended Mary Jane in my last book rec video. But it's really good, and it really is so good. And it's a short read. I know I just recommended it. Shut up. The next book I have is Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is about our main character named Carrie, who is a reigning tennis champion, but she has retired and she's coming back to tennis because somebody is about to beat her record for the most wins. Trophies? Wins. Most tournament wins. I really like this story. I didn't love it. I'll put a preference to that. I didn't love the story. I liked it. I think sometimes Carrie herself is a very strong character, and sometimes her strong character got annoying to me. The story itself is very interesting. It's basically her kind of comeback into tennis after so many years to prove that she is like the best person in tennis. And you also see like kind of like flashbacks into like how she kind of got into this, and it's really interesting and it's very good. You learn about Carrie in Malibu Rising, so it's kind of like part of like an interconnected series to some extent. You don't need to read Malibu Rising to read this. It's good. I like it. Read it if you want. The last book I have is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I haven't recommended this yet, and I don't know why. I love this book. Reckless just came out, which is the second book in this trilogy. Powerless is set in this world where there are elites and then there are ordinaries, and elites have powers and ordinaries do not have any powers. The king decides that ordinaries were not worth it, and he started purging them and killing them off because he was like, I don't want these bitches here. There is just now a kingdom of elites, and our main girl Peyton is pretending to be an elite because she is an ordinary. We have another perspective named Kai, who is the prince of this kingdom, who is also called the Enforcer. He's kind of the person that kind of goes around hunting ordinaries, so she kind of has to try and stay away from him, but she saves his life one day and she gets catapulted into the trials, which are just kind of a showcase of these people's powers. And she has to now go through these trials to, hopefully she doesn't get caught because she's an ordinary. And yeah, that's it. I don't know if I explained that well or not. It's a YA fantasy. There's no spice in this. There's a lot of tension. If you love like banter and lots of tropes in this one, like knife to throat and one bed tropes and all that kind of shit. There's a ton of tropes in this, but it's so fun. The romance in this is very like tension, slow burn, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's that kind of vibe. So if you really like that kind of stuff, I think you would really enjoy this. If you've not read Powerless yet, highly recommend. It's very good. That's all I have. I didn't have that many books. But like, also, I don't want to keep you here for too long. You got things to do, people to say, things to experience, books to go read. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like this and comment and subscribe. Look at this face. You gotta see this face again. You're over this and I'm over this. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.